that's it. Steve Young, top fan. Steve Young says, Norman Borlaug, another excellent idea. I'm kind of looking for something a little more, I don't want to say topical exactly, I've done a little bit on Borlaug too when I did the What We Believe series. I talked about Norman Borlaug as a defense of capitalism. Norman Borlaug, for those of you who don't know, is arguably the guy who has saved more lives than anybody else in the world. Yeah, you're probably going to have to come in second or third when you get right down to it. Going to probably come in second or third or fourth after Fleming and Pasteur maybe, and what's his name? So, but he's in the top. He's in the top five. Norman Borlaug was an agronomist, American agronomist, and he was the first guy to start experimenting with breeding plants that could grow in very low light. Salk did an awful lot, but the polio vaccine, but the polio as a disease isn't even in the top 10, I don't think, of fatal diseases. It's was it Fleming who did inoculations and who developed penicillin? Was Lifton? One of them developed antibiotics, and the other one developed inoculation with the cowpox and the smallpox. Anyway, Lister, thank you. There it is. So Norman Borlaug figured out how to grow plants where plants couldn't grow before, and he figured out how to increase the yield of these things, like these little marginal, little scrubby little corn cobs. He got those things really, really rolling. And Steve Darrow says that Norman worked at Texas A&M, and he kept up. He produced so much food in places where food didn't grow before that Norman Borlaug saved billions of lives and continues to save billions of lives. And nobody knows his name. And Jenner, thank you. Lister for antiseptics, Fleming for antibiotics, and Jenner for inoculations. That's it. Oh, Lister, how about that? That's undoubtedly where Listerine comes from. Never realized that before. Fun when you can put words together like that. Awesome. That's great. That'll help me remember, too. Listerine. How about that? That's cool. Okay, moving on. Jacob Belchak. I'm just going down the list. I think it would be interesting to do a dive on why everyone is angry, considering that the global poverty rate, global lifespan, literacy rate, democracy rule, and a whole host of others is literally the best time in human history to be alive. Absolutely true. Despite all of that, people, especially young Americans, are desperate for some kind of change when the things in place now have produced an age of miracles. That is rich territory to mine, honestly. Hang on a second. I always get distracted by these comments here. I got a quick question here in the comment section from P.R. Henderson. He says he's 19 years old, looking to get his private pilot certificate, working at a small town airport, and wants to know if he should get his license early or just have his fill flying with a few buddies and messing with the yoke. Well, one thing about getting your license, pal, will be very likely by the end of it, you'll figure out that that's actually spelled Y-O-K-E, not egg yolk. It's a yoke, the kind of thing that they put on oxen, the kind of thing that they use to pull. I'm just pulling your chain here, pal. Look, getting your license is a very different thing than going up there and fooling around. It's a completely different well, first of all, it's an actual achievement. Getting your pilot's license, you get pilot's wings so you can just walk up to an airplane that you checked out and then fly away. That is a real achievement. Without question, the hardest thing I've had to do in my life was my instrument rating. That was just intellectually the toughest thing I've had to do because math is involved. But getting your pilot's license is a real achievement, and and it requires a lot of money, which means hard work and discipline and commitment and years and all the rest of it. And it requires some degree of courage. I'm speaking for every pilot I ever met, but I don't think there's really much doubt about it. I actually went through it twice because I learned to fly in gliders and I got my powered rating. But that first solo, it's not your license. That's the check ride makes you nervous because you don't want to fail the check ride. But if you do, you can take the check ride again. But the first time you solo, that is an attention getter. It's a very, it's the kind of thing is coming from the minute you start your flight training. You think about all the times you're up there and disoriented and kind of lost, and the flight instructor came in and saved you and stuff, and now you're going to go fly that airplane by yourself. And I don't know if anybody else has experienced this. I've heard many other pilots I talked to about it have experienced it. But my experience both times, my first solo in gliders and then later my first solo in a powered airplane, I was nervous about flying the solo. But once I started the takeoff roll, the thing I noticed both times was I was absolutely astonished at how much better I was flying without the instructor there. I can't explain it. It's just like it was always a crutch that, it kind of caused a hesitation. I was going to do this, but then, and then it's like, but now he's not there. So you just fly much, much better, much better. And I cannot recommend it highly enough, buddy. It's an achievement, and it's more than just fooling around. And certainly going up there and hanging around with friends and flying around is probably more fun than not. But if you love to fly, you need to learn to fly, and do it. So that'd be awesome. I know we're back and forth all over the place here. I'm just trying to please all of the masters in the world here.